I'm back with Dr. Sharon Crumpton here at the Medical Towers of Tuscany Court, and we're discussing hearing aids. Now, she's just told me all about them, but I'm just saying, what kind of money are we talking about?
Okay. Well,
and how are you going to pay for them?
Okay. Well, that's definitely a valid question because unfortunately most insurances don't cover hearing aids. It's crazy. I think
that is crazy.
I
agree.
Why
are they not? Well, they just don't.
Well, Medicare doesn't cover them, and Medicaid doesn't cover them for adults. So, most insurances are going to follow suit with what Medicare does.
Sure.
And I don't know the rhyme or the reason, but it is kind of, I wish that it did. Now, there are some Blue Cross Blue Shields that will pay, not of Mississippi, but out-of-state Blue Cross Blue Shields or Blue Cross Federal. United Healthcare will pay sometimes. And then Windsor, if you have a Windsor Medicare plan.
But basically don't count on your insurance.
Don't count on it. And if you do feel like you might have one of those plans, before you come to see me, I encourage you to please call your insurance, find out. I always encourage my patients, if you can get some help or some assistance in paying for the hearing aid, I would much rather you do that than to try to scrounge to find money to pay for it privately when there are those services out there. But there are basically 3 different price levels for the hearing aids because there are 3 different technology levels. So basic entry-level hearing aids, those are going to be for somebody who is more homebound. They don't get around a lot of background noise. We really think about somebody in a nursing home or like I said, they're in the home for the most of the time. You're looking at $1,000 per ear. Most people are going to want per ear, so $2,000 for the set. And most people do want 2 hearing aids. The only time I would ever fit 1 hearing aid is if you really had normal hearing in one ear and one ear needed a hearing aid.
I've never thought you would never. No, I don't think I thought about it. I would think 2 is right.
Well, a lot of people to save money will want to, they'll ask me about 1. And like I said, if you have if one ear that's normal and only one ear needs a hearing aid, then yes, 1 is fine. Or on the other side of that, if you have one ear that's totally deaf, you're not going to be able to hear anything out of it, and you have one ear that has a hearing loss that's aidable, I would recommend just 1 hearing aid for the ear that still has hearing in it. But most of the time you're going to want 2 hearing aids. It's just like your vision, the way your vision works. You're going to hear better in background noise with both ears. So if you get 1 hearing aid, it's not going to help you in background noise. And then also you have to remember your inner ear controls your balance. So you want to keep those symmetrical. Even somebody who has hearing loss that's symmetrical in both ears, it's not going to affect their balance as much as somebody whose ears are not the same. So you want to amplify at the same rate for the both ears, or to normalize the hearing at the same rate for the both ears, so you keep your balance. So there's just lots of benefits. So when I talk, I'm going to talk about for 2 because most people are going to need 2. So like I said, the basic ones are about $1,000 each, so $2,000 for a set. The only problem with that one is if you do happen to get in background noise, there is a little button on the hearing aid. If you have a behind the ear hearing aid, you would have to push the button to tell it to cut the noise down. It does not do it on its own. Now it will adjust the volume on its own. So if volume is too loud, it'll cut the volume down. If the volume too soft, it'll bring the volume up. But it will not adjust for noise on its own. So that's why it's really for somebody who's more homebound. So most people go with the mid-level hearing aid, and that is for what I think of the retired but active person. They're at home for most of the day, but they do enjoy things like going to church, to a restaurant. They may get in the car, they may go to the store. They are around noise sometimes. So what that one does, it cuts the noise out automatically, and it's able to handle a moderate amount of noise like at a restaurant or in the car, places like that. So you don't have to push a button on the back of the hearing aid. You're looking at about $1,400 an ear, so $2,800 for a set. And that one, actually, it comes with a 4-year warranty standard. The basic hearing aid, the $1,000 each, you're looking at a 3-year warranty for both repair and loss and damage. And the mid-level, you're looking at a 4-year warranty for repair and loss and damage. Now, the top of the line hearing aid is going to be for somebody who is changing environments all day long. Typically think about somebody that's still working, but not necessarily. There are still retirees that are very active. They're in meetings. You may be, at like a bridge club or somewhere where there's several people around talking. You think about somebody who has a fast-paced lifestyle. That one's going to be able to cut out the greatest amount of noise and do it most efficiently. Now those are more pricey. They're $2,000 each, so you're looking at $4,000 for a set. Those also.
I was worried you were going to say $5,000 a piece.
Now there are, if you go somewhere like one of these hearing aid dealers, like that you see sending these advertisements out. I'm not going to name any names, but we all know who they are. Some of the national chains. They don't employ audiologists most of the time. They're hearing aid dealers. They're not licensed to give a hearing test like I am. So when you come in to see me for a hearing test, I can bill insurance for your hearing test. These people cannot because they're not licensed to give a hearing test.
What if someone already has a hearing aid? Can they come to you with their hearing aid they bought somewhere else?
They can, and I can clean and check them. There is a fee. It's $22 for every 15 minutes that you spend with me working on a hearing aid. But I can work on most hearing aids. Now those national chain hearing aids, I can clean them and check them, but I cannot adjust the volume or anything. But one of the things I was going to say too about the national chains, that's why their hearing aids are so much more expensive, because they give these free hearing tests. So just be very leery of anybody giving you a free hearing test. It means that they're not licensed to give that hearing test. That's why it's free.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
And back to the top of the line hearing aid, the Bluetooth that we talked about earlier, you can choose to get some of those Bluetooth devices for free with the hearing aid. So Unitron, which is the company that I use, they don't charge for that. It's kind of a perk that comes with getting the more expensive hearing aid. So it comes with full hands-free Bluetooth technology if you decide you want that.
I think that's great. Now I have to ask you though, what's this?
Okay, this is for people who want hearing protection, custom hearing protection. These are called Hear Savers, and one of the complaints about working in industry or working in a factory, a setting where there's lots of noise, is that if they're constantly, if they're changing environment, say they're quiet one minute, they're in the office, then they're back out on the floor, they're having problems with constantly taking their hearing protection in and out. Well, this one has a special chamber in it, and it allows you to hear the speech. You can even talk on the telephone with these in.
Really?
But it filters out any noise that would be damaging to your hearing.
Does this work like if everybody around here hunts and they're all shooting guns all the time? Will that work with this?
We do have, they're called shooter's plugs. They're very similar, but they have a big silver chamber.
But it has the chamber too.
It does have a chamber, and it has a different mechanism that when there's a loud gun blast, the chamber closes. But you're looking at about $120 for a set of these.
For those?
Yes.
Well, all right, let's say, what if you have someone that is mowing, what type of hearing protection do they need? Or do they need hearing protection?
They do need hearing protection, and you certainly don't have to come in and get the custom hearing protection. You can get just the roll-up earplugs from Walgreens or CVS, Walmart. You've got to get something to protect your hearing. It needs to be 22 decibel attenuation rating or higher. So there's going to be a number on that hearing protection package. It needs to be 22 or higher. When you talk about hearing protection, people think about, of course, going to work and working in a factory. They don't think about mowing the grass, chainsaws, leaf blowers, weed eaters, things like that. And we are actually seeing a lot of younger people who have high frequency hearing losses from noise exposure because of wearing their headphones while they're mowing the grass. That is the worst thing you can do. Do not wear your headphones while you're mowing the grass. And
I think I know some people that do that.
That's one of the worst things that you can do. And just protect your hearing. You don't have to come see me. You can get them from the drugstore. Just you got to do something, because you will need hearing aids one day if you don't do it now.
What about the people with the thumping music in the car? They come by my house and the windows are rattling.
It can damage your hearing too, of course. If your music is so loud that somebody has to yell to talk to you, your music's too loud, you need to turn it down. Same thing for headphones. Parents need to be very, very watchful of their children. If they're having to yell at their children while they've got earphones in their ears listening to their music,
I had no idea.
Turn it down.
I had no idea.
I actually do. I can order some. They're called kid safe headphones, and you can confiscate the headphones that came with the iPod or whatever, and you can get some of these kid safe headphones, and it keeps it from anything from going over 90 decibels and damaging the hearing.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. Wonderful gift. Wonderful gift.
Kids don't like them though, because it starts distorting the sound when it gets too loud, but parents like them.
Well, saving that hearing is so important.
Yes.
So important. I hope you will remember that here at McGee General Hospital at the Medical Towers that we do have an audiologist that comes every 2 weeks on Tuesdays. And Sharon will be glad to help you. Like I said, she can sell you a hearing aid, she can service your hearing aid, and will help you decide what you need. So I hope you'll visit here. Again, you can call the main desk and they'll route you through, but as she said earlier, you need that referral from your physician.
Not to have the hearing aids cleaned and checked. You don't need a referral for that.
Yeah. That's just if you're going to have to get some.
Yes.
There's some other things that we're going to be showing you, so stay tuned for the next video.